And welcome back to the next episode of Talk Smack with Mac. I'm with another MMA fighter, people. This is Ja. This dude has a fight coming up September 11th, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Make sure you guys check it out on Cage Wars if you're not there presently.
Are you ready? Let's talk smack.
But Ja, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up? I'm chilling. How you feeling?
Man, I cannot complain. I appreciate the quick turnaround. I hit you up this morning. You're like, shit, let's do it.
Yeah, we had today off after some training yesterday, so I was like, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Right. All 11 of my people that watch this podcast is probably going to see your fight. I got some loyal 11 people. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so. I'm going to put on a show for him.
Yeah, man. So tell me about yourself. How'd you get into fighting? What weight class you're at? All that good shit.
Yeah. Fighting. Really because of my coach, Steven Strife, who's friends with my MMA coach, Duff. Like, they go way back with each other. And when I was playing football at Proctor, like, Strife used to, like, show us MMA stuff and all that. And I always thought it was cool. So once I finished football and graduated, I just talked to Strife and was like, yo, I think I would be interested in this. And then hopped in the gym. My 19th birthday of this year, so March 11th, was like my first day training MMA or anything.
You're only 19?
Yeah.
Oh shit, bro! You got a long
yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's dope, man. You can't even have a drink legally, and you're in there slanging and banging with people.
Yes, sir.
So you're amateur still?
Yeah.
Okay.
0-0.
Oh, you said 0-0?
Yeah.
So this is your first fight coming up. That's exciting, man. How you feeling? I know the adrenaline.
I'm excited. Yeah. Excited, ready to go.
So in terms of like butterflies and how you feel and shit like that, how does this stack up to playing football?
At football, what was crazy was my senior year, we had made it to the sectional finals game, which was at the Carrier Dome out in Syracuse. And that was kind of a big deal because it was like the first time in school history. And that was like my first time really getting to experience like the nerves and like a large crowd performing and anything like that. And then I did a little bit of like, I did sports all throughout high school. So like the feeling of like competition and like that, it's like not really that crazy to me.
It's more driving, if anything.
Yeah, wanting to get in there.
I feel like with anybody that has a little bit of sense, especially with fighting, those nerves, they're good. You know, if you could harness those nerves, welcome them, and then use them to your advantage, then it's a whole new ball game. But if you let them nerves like overtake you and you're just scared as fuck, then it could be have a lot of negative consequences as well. Football, what position did you play, or position?
Outside linebacker and then DB, like corner, stuff like that.
Oh, so you're a hitter?
Yeah, a little bit, but I was more of a fast guy. I feel like quick. That's what it was, just catching dudes off guard.
Yeah,
not seeing me coming. But yeah,
but that's exciting, man. Transferring from football, I'm a big football guy. I love football. Transferring over to fighting, something else I love.
Right.
Has that transition been easy for you? I know you said you liked it and you thought you'd be good at it, but how has that transition been?
Yeah, it's been fun. I look at it like, especially with that fear thing as well, like a roller coaster, you know, like if you look at a roller coaster ride, like it's scary or anything like that, it won't be as enjoyable as if, you know, you embrace it. And that's how I look at like training MMA is like, you just embrace it.
Yeah.
So like from football, I mean, it was different. Like it was definitely more tiring. Like I came in thinking, you know, I was going to be an athlete and be able to move around as much as I wanted. And then wrestling class, jiu-jitsu even, all that stuff, like was like a little bit of a culture shock, you know?
Yeah. Cause it's different muscles. Yeah. You know, you go in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like quads and, you know, your fast twitch muscles and, you know, some other things, but with jiu-jitsu, you know, you're angling off limbs and shit like that. With wrestling, you're using certain muscles. With boxing, your shoulders, you're targeting your muscle, your shoulders and your core, and then, you know, like exploding from your legs and your hips. It's all different types of muscles that you use that you probably had dormant for so long.
Definitely. Well, not so long, because I had came in right after high school, so it was like that was like the kind of good part was I was still kind of in shape. I just had to get in MMA shape, kind of.
Yeah. You know, the biggest reference that I use for MMA shape or boxing shape or football, whatever it is. When Michael Jordan went and played baseball, he said, all right, now I got to turn my body from a basketball body to a baseball body. There's really levels to this.
Right. Definitely. And speaking like levels was just the guys I trained with, like Brendan Kennedy, Kyle, like getting the experience, like feeling those guys like was different. Like, ooh, like this is definitely like, and like their skill, like that was different. Whereas in football, it's like a team sport, and you know you got guys you can rely on, a coach and stuff like that. Whereas in this one, you rolling with like a high level guy like that, or striking sparring like with a guy like Kyle. You know, it's different.
Man, you bring up Kyle a lot. First of all, shout out to Kyle, man. I appreciate him getting on the pod.
Yeah.
Kyle's that guy.
Yeah, Kyle's yeah. And then Brendan too. Like Brendan, he's a little bit more quiet, but Brendan, like rolling with that guy, like is probably the closest thing I could imagine to rolling with Khabib or somebody like that. Honestly, like his pressure, just feeling like the muscles that he's had from being in the sport and like really working at it and feeling those firsthand is definitely. And then like the older, like just being in that gym with like the older guys like Money, Josh Ritchie, some of like just it's just like a family. That's like another thing I like is just like the family. Whereas in football, it's like you close to the guys, but in this, because you know it's different. It's like a different type of close camaraderie, you know. And that was like another thing I like.
If you're doing jujitsu or wrestling, you're holding on to guys, you're laying on top of guys, you're face to face with guys. You know, it's a lot different.
Working like conditioning with guys, you know, tired, out of breath, all that, sweaty and everything. Like all that stuff I enjoy though.
Yeah. Speaking of conditioning, you know, one thing that Kyle brought up that resonated with me because I do it myself is quarter mile repeats. Is that something that you do to get ready for fights, or what do you do to get into that fight shape?
I do some jogging, but recently I did that thing that Kyle was talking about on your episode, was the 400 sprints, and that the first time I did that, I ended up puking and everything. But that was a real workout right there. And then we did it again, and I was able to get through without throwing up, and that felt a lot better.
How many did you do? 8 the first time?
Yeah, 8, and then one at the end. It was like you had to run with a teammate on your back, and it was
for a lap.
It was tough. Not a lap, like you had to, or almost a lap. You had to like catch coach. Like coach was at the other end of the track, and you had to catch him. He didn't make it easy for you, you know.
No, man, you're sucking wind trying to do that. You got somebody back.
Yeah, we try to focus a lot on breathing right. That's another thing, just breathing right, making sure you're sucking it in efficiently.
Yeah, were you counting your steps? How do you go by that?
From track, I was trying to, but it was like just from not doing like being on a track for a minute. I was trying to like re-engage like those track muscle memory, but it was just trying to get the fastest times as possible, you know?
Yeah. So back into the gym or to the cage, however you want to put it. What is one of the martial arts that you, I guess, favor the most? Is it boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling?
Probably from football, wrestling, just because I like, you know, that dream tackle you get from playing football, you know, knocking somebody's helmet off like that, and then like slam, and then the WWE. Like as a little kid, I was a huge fan of the WWE, and so I found out it was fake, and then the UFC came around, and I was like, oh yeah, guys like Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, DC Slim, and guys like that. I was like, oh wow, and that's real. Like I need to do this. So.
Yeah, all them heavyweight cats.
Wrestling.
Like a heavyweight really rely on wrestling a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, what weight do you fight at?
Probably right now this fight's at a catch weight of 130, but it's probably gonna be at 125 for the next one.
Damn, 125. You're getting down low.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Yeah. Probably like 5'9". I'm like a slimmer dude, really.
Yeah. Shit, 125. I can't even imagine being that little.
But, it's kind of easier because I'm so young, you know, 19. Like cutting that weight isn't as difficult as if I was older.
What's your walking around weight?
Usually like 140, 145.
So that's not too bad. So you're cutting about 25 pounds or so.
Yeah, and then I try to stay in the gym as much as I can. So like usually I'm in shape.
Okay, so lay out, like say you got to fight September 11th. What is that, in about 3-4 weeks around there?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
So how do you go about cutting? Are you throughout like your camp or, a month or so out, are you gradually losing a little bit of weight and then you cut water weight?
Yeah. So I do this weird thing where after like training, I'll work overnights at FedEx, and then like I'll go there like with like a hoodie and hat and like sweatpants, winter boots, and like unload like those like FedEx ground like long trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like go in one of those and like empty out all the boxes, and then it's just like constant movement and just like pace and movement throwing boxes. And that like after doing that from like for 4 hours, like I'll come home like real sweaty and dropping like 2-3 pounds usually, depending on like how hard I'm going in there. But that's like the biggest thing I've been finding like is like my little thing about like being able to lose weight is working.
Yeah, especially with this being your first fight, is kind of like a learning situation. Every
Yeah, right. And then asking questions in the gym. And that's why I'm so fortunate to have so much experience like around me. It's so crazy. Like,
yeah, you can only play up to the competition around you. If you're the best guy with a bunch of shit people around you, you're not going to grow or get better.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that versus you got all the experience around you, all those guys that's been doing it for a while. You're constantly.
And then Coach Duff.
Up. You said Coach who?
Coach Duff Holmes.
Yeah. Tell him to get on the pod. He'll get on here.
You like it. Yeah, you like him a lot. But the experience he has and like the places he's been in the sport, and the knowledge he has is just like crazy. Like when he talks, I'm like a sponge. It's like his word is my command. Anything that man say, like, and it's so crazy because like it works. That's like the reason why I feel like I've been able to be prepared to even step in so somewhat early, because like I just listen to the stuff he says and it's been working so far.
If you're coachable, man, I feel like anybody could take this wherever they want to go. And with you being only 19 years old, man, if you focus on 2 or 3 aspects of the game for 10 years, that's what they say is 10 years until you get a black belt or become efficient in what you're doing. You'll only be 29 and you'll be juiced ready to go.
Yeah. And then like hopefully later on in the future, I'll be able to move up to 135 once I'm in the sport and got some of that MMA muscles just from doing it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look at the history of mixed martial arts or boxing, anything like that, most guys started as low as possible and slowly moved up over time.
Yeah.
Like you said, them MMA muscles or them grown man muscles, however.
Right. Yeah.
So after this fight, I don't know if you're looking beyond this fight, but what is like your long-term outlook on fighting? I know COVID's fucking things up. It's making it weird to move around or probably to catch fights. We don't know what the future holds, but are you looking to fight consecutively, like maybe once every few months or so?
Yeah, once every like 2-3 months.
And that's going to dictate upon like injuries and stuff like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
How healthy I am. Like I'm in this for a long run.
Yeah. No, I guess the slower the better.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Right.
So how long do you plan on being an amateur for?
Probably like 10, 15 fights maybe.
Oh, that'd be nice. I've been noticing that a lot of people that I talked to when they had that amateur fight, they fought 2, 3, maybe 5, 6 times, and then they were kind of pressured to move up. They were given that opportunity and life experience or life downfalls kind of puts them in jeopardy and forces them to move up before they're ready and capable. So getting 10 to 15 fights, that'll give you plenty of time to learn and get acclimated to this shit. MMA,
right? Because it's real,
bro. Yeah. You guys are some warriors. When you're locked in that cage, just you and you gotta perform.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. All right, so about your opponent, tell me a little bit about him. Does he have any fights?
I don't think so. I think he's 0-0 too.
Have you done any due diligence on him? Do you know what Jimmy fights out of anything like that?
I don't really. I think it's Brian Berry Jiu-Jitsu or something like that. But I'm not really like one of those guys that like. To me, it's like you line them up and I'm ready to go. I mean, like it's on me and like working on my game, my skills, like all that.
Yeah, man, I could dig it.
Yeah, I guess he's like a technician and like a technician and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu, I'm assuming he's
Yeah,
very favorable on the ground.
yeah.
Does that make you nervous at all? Like, hey, man, this dude
Not really, because I said, like, I felt that's the thing. Like, when you under guys, like, really, like, it's a different type of experience. You know what I mean? Like, feeling his pressure and rolling with him. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I say I'm, like, real fortunate to be able to go through that.
Yeah, man.
And train with them guys.
This your first fight coming up. I'm definitely gonna tune in. You know, I'm gonna give my feedback in 2 cents, and I'm gonna be rooting for you the whole way. But John, what I wanted to ask you or let you know is every time I have somebody get on my podcast for the first time, I give them the spotlight where I sit back, I shut up, I don't say shit, and you let my 11 fans know where to find you, your social media, or let them know anything that you got coming up next. It's your time to shine.
Yeah, all I gotta say is, tune in September 11th to Cage Wars. We got 8 guys on the card from MVMMA. Check out the page on Facebook. We got Brendan, Kyle, Al, Chris, Anthony, Dom, me, Vinny, and it's gonna be a show. We plan the show out.
Yeah, man, shit, that's a lot of people from one camp. So you really representing.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna be tuning in September 11th. That's coming up fast, people. Anybody that cannot or is not in New York, cannot be there actively. Cage Wars is gonna be having these fights go down. I will make sure to put all of that information in the description. These are young cats, guys that are fresh in the game, guys that have been around for a little bit, trying to make a name for themselves. Cage Wars is representing everybody, and let's go check these guys out and show them our appreciation for what they do inside of that octagon, and give back to us fans. But I really appreciate it. This is one of my quicker pods, man. This is what I'm trying to do. Like I told you before, keep it under a little direct, get a little taste from people.
Right, short and sweet.
Yeah, man. They was like, hey, man, keep the shit out of old dude on September 11th. Get him
exactly. Hopefully the fight will be like that, short and sweet. Get back in there and do it again a couple times.
Yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate your little time. Good luck September 11th. Like I said, I'm going to tune in, and I hope you really do kick some ass, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.